All right. This is Dusty tonight. Tim's got some little league baseball practice to go to, so I'm gonna get us started tonight. And Tim will be back and join us here probably right at 7, maybe just a little bit before. Bulldogs taking on Madison Central out of Kentucky. Madison Central Indians coming in down here on spring break and getting them a little ball while they're here down on vacation. And Bulldogs hosting them here at their home field tonight. So real quick before we get this game underway, teams I think are just about ready to get started. Let's look first. We'll go ahead and give you the lineups for the Indians. Uh, Number 6, Stewart, will be leading off, and I believe he is going to be pitching tonight. Playing left field and batting second is going to be number 3, Spivey. Batting third and going to be playing first base, it looks like. Excuse me one second here. Yep, playing first base is going to be Spivey. Mullins. DHing tonight is going to be Pointer, and he is number 32. Batting in the 5 holes, number 22, Rodas. And Rodas is going to be playing center field. And batting 6th, number 25, that is Hess. And Hess is going to be playing third base. Batting 7th, number 4, Bauer. And Bauer is going to be playing second base. And number 1, Travis, he's going to be batting 8th, and he's going to be playing right field. And then batting 9th is going to, and actually probably batting 9th is going to be number 9, that is Metcalf, and he's going to be playing shortstop. And then not batting but playing catcher tonight, number 19, and that is Coffrin. We'll say it, Coffrin. And then for the Bulldogs tonight, you got number 12, Bryson Martin. He's going to be pitching tonight for the Bulldogs. Number 11, Robbie Kopp, going to be playing right field. Number 4, going to be catching tonight, Javen Shoemake. And turn up the cell phone. I think it's going to be that one. Tim sending me a little on-air production. Yeah, I noticed that, Tim. I'm not getting any background. I've got I know the main is there, sitting at about 0, and then I've got my slide up. But is it going to be the mains, or is it going to be? I see where you've got the box coming in for what would be the camera, the cell phone signal, but I don't. The only slide I see up is the main. So give me a little information there. Batting 4th, number 24, is going to be Anthony St. Vincent, and he's going to be playing third base. Number 5, Aiden Justice, going to be playing, looks like center field. Number 15, Braden Rushmeyer, is going to be your DH tonight. Number 19, Maddox Reeves, is going to be playing left field. Number 25, Connor Rife, is going to be playing first base. Number 10, Cooper Cantrell, is going to be playing shortstop. And number 7, Pearson McDaniel, is going to be playing second base tonight for the Bulldogs. The captains and the coaches have met at home plate with our officials with the umpires for tonight. So we're just a few minutes away from getting this game underway. It's Oh, okay. You know what, Tim? I found it. It was there, the little knobs on your little box that your that our cameras are plugged into. It's not on the board, so I've located it. See if we can get y'all. Got the introduction of the. Got the introduction of. That's the actual headphones. So. PA announcers announcing our players for both teams. We'll have the national anthem, and we'll have first pitch here in just a few minutes. Both teams. We'll have the national anthem, and we'll have first pitch here in just a few minutes. Got a little bit of crowd volume coming in, so I'll continue knobbing around here and see if we can get that figured out for you guys. Get us some, while we're doing this, I'm going to get us some records here, if we can. So Crestview coming in with a record of 7-7. Started off the season real good with 4 wins right out of the box. Then went on looks like a 5-game losing streak. Then won 2, lost to Navarre last week on the 30th, and then last week defeated Pensacola Christian, it looks like. Won a game earlier today against Hopkinsville, Kentucky, 10-3. So just getting through with a game, coming back with another game this evening against Madison Central. Madison Central just starting their season. They're coming in at 3-0. So it's going to be interesting to see how a team, even though the Bulldogs coming in at 500 at 7-7 and taking on an undefeated 3-0 team, you've got more game experience at 7-7. Through 14 games, through what would probably be 2/3 of the regular season for the Dogs, and an early season start for Madison Central at 3-0. So maybe the game experience early on for the Bulldogs will pay dividends tonight against the Indians. We are just about ready here for the national anthem. And as soon as we have national anthem, it'll be game time, guys. Here's your national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Time to play ball, guys. Bulldogs coming out, getting in position. And we are just a few minutes away from the first pitch of the game. No spots on the computer tonight, so just bear with us. I'm a one-man show right now, but we'll find something to talk about while we can till Timbo gets back, and then we'll bring it in as a duo the rest of the way tonight. Martin taking his warm-up pitches on the mound. First few stones look real good. Got some decent velocity on the arm. Good control again. So that's a good sign for the Dogs tonight. Leading off for the Indians will be, looks like number 6, Stewart. Little take a look here for us real quick. Like I said, Crestview coming into this game, they with the win just earlier today, they brought their record back to 500 for the year. And looking forward from this point on, Thursday night, play at Pace, Friday night at home against Walton. So two more games this week, so a 4-game week for the Bulldogs. And here we go. Martin ready to deliver his first pitch. Swung on, hit over to second base, and going to fire over to first base. 1 pitch, 1 out for the Dogs. Stewart jumped right on the first pitch, but hit it right to the second baseman for the Bulldogs. That is McDaniel. So 1 out. Martin delivers fastball, swung on first pitch again, right to the right fielder. That is Kopp. So 2 pitches, 2 outs. Can't get off to a better start than that if you're a pitcher. So great start for the Bulldogs here. Up bat a little lefty, got number 5. And this is Mullins. See if he jumps on the first pitch as well. He waits, takes first pitch for a strike fastball right down the middle. Playing pretty much straight away for Mullins. Little low pitch, bouncer right back to Martin. Martin tosses it over to first base for the out. 4 pitches. And it's 3 up, 3 down for the Bulldogs in the top part of the first inning. So a great way to start this ball game for Mr. Martin, Bryson Martin. Just the way you want to draw it up starting off. So the Bulldogs head to the bottom of the first. Their chance to get up and get some production going offensively. Looking at the Bulldogs coming into this game, and this probably is not going to have your last game included in it. But so far on the year, Bulldogs batting .256 as a team. So looking to maybe hopefully increase that batting average. You know, as a high school team, if you really, especially in this district that Crestview plays in, you want to try to start getting that batting average on up into the high 200s, approaching 300 if you can. One more warm-up pitch for your starting pitcher for the Indians. And Bryson Martin going to be leading off for the Bulldogs. See if he can come out and help his cause right off the bat. Bryson coming in batting .265 on the year. First pitch, a little down in the dirt for a ball. Second pitch right down the middle. Stewart on the mound for the Indians. 1-1 delivery. Martin looks at strike two. Kind of putting himself in a little hole here. 1-2 count. Fastball right back up the middle. Going to be a little bang-bang play. Shortstop comes over, makes the grab in the middle on the grass and fires over to first and gets Martin by about a step for the first out here in the bottom part of the first inning. Next up to bat, number 11, Robbie Kopp. Robbie Kopp. First ball down and away. Kopp coming in, one of the hotter sticks on the team, coming in batting .342 on the year. Good season thus far for Robbie. Catches that outside corner for a strike, 1-1. Kopp in there with a little bit of an open stance. Pitch is high, 2-1. Whew. Must have been a little bit higher, maybe a little bit inside. 3-1. Hitters count here for Robbie. That pitch is high, so Kopp's going to take his way down to first base and draws the walk. Next up, number 4. And that's Javen Shoemate. Martin taking his lead off of first. Pitch high for ball 1. Shoemate, senior, coming in batting .293 on the year. Done a great job behind the plate as well for the Bulldogs. Pitch called strike. Evens the count at 1-1. Pitch on its way. Catches the knees for a called strike. Now Shoemate finding himself in a hole at 1-2. Leadoff batter Martin over on first. He drew the walk to start the inning. Little bouncer back up to the third baseman. Bang, bang play once again over at first. I'm sorry, that was Kopp that drew the walk, not Martin. So that's 2 away here in the bottom of the first. Coming up to bat is going to be number 24, Anthony St. Vincent. On that fielder's choice by Shoemate, Kopp able to get himself over to second base. So a runner in scoring position. St. Vincent takes pitch for a strike here on the first pitch. St. Vincent coming in, team average batter, batting .256. Outside. One pitch on its way. That's turned on. That's a line shot out into right field. And that's going to, I think they're going to try to wave Kopp on around. Kopp comes in, and he's going to score. So give St. Vincent an RBI single. And the Bulldogs get on the board here in the bottom of the first. Take the early 1-0 lead. Good piece of hitting there. St. Vincent just went with the pitch, drove it out to right field. Aiden Justice up to bat. Playing center field tonight. And Justice takes one out toward mid center field. Center fielder for the Indians gets under it, makes the third out. But the Bulldogs get on the board first. 1 run off of 1 hit. 1 man left on base. And after 1 inning, it's the Bulldogs 1 and Madison Central Indians 0. Going into the top of the second inning, looks like it's going to be Pointer, Rodas, and Hess. First 3 batters in the lineup. Pointer, your designated hitter. Martin from the windup to start us off here in the top of the second. First pitch swing, and I tell you what, this Madison Central Ball Club, that's 4 out of the first 5 batters that have jumped on the first pitch. So not afraid to swing the bats. Pitch just a little bit low. Evens the count at 1-1. Delivery, a little fastball right on the outside corner for Martin. 1-2 the count now, so Martin can kind of open his book here on, and gets that outside corner again for the strikeout. He went right back to that outside corner with a little fastball and picks up the K. That's going to bring up center fielder number 22, Rodas. Martin, good control early on of his pitches thus far. That's a strike right down the middle. Got a fastball that's probably pushing, I'd say, close to 80 tonight probably. Hit it again. 0-2. So Rodas digging himself into an early hole here this at bat. Martin come with the fastball again, but into the dirt. Still 1-2 count. Rodas playing up about as far up in the batter's box as you're going to see a batter. I mean, foot just shy of that front line. And he takes a called third strike, and that is 2 up, 2 down via the K for Martin here in the top of the second. See if we can strike out the side here. Number 25 up to bat, that is Hess. Hess coming from the left side of the box, or from the batter left side, little lefty. And Hess jumps out to a quick 2-0 count. Martin liking that fastball so far tonight. He went a little bit low on that, so brings up 3-0. Comes back with a fastball right up the middle to 3-1. Hess was taking the whole way there. High ball right in the infield, and that is going to be St. Vincent. Brings it in for the third out. So the Bulldogs take them down 1-2-3 here in the top part of the second inning. No runs, no hits for the Indians. So after 1.5 of plays, Bulldogs on top 1-0. Due up for the Bulldogs this inning is going to be Rushmeyer, Reeves, and Rife. Go back to that right-handed view. Sun working its way down, probably about 15, 20 minutes away from being down, at least into the trees. And as we're set up here, and you can probably tell from the video, but for sure here the home dugout looking due west. So I'm having to kind of put the line of some of the trim work of the window in as my sunshade for me to block the sun. Beautiful spring night here for baseball. Bulldogs trying to look to get back above 500. Rushmeyer steps in, swinging on the first pitch and fouls it off his foot. Rushmeyer takes a loop around the area that is home plate and walks it off. Rushmeyer having a good season. Missed a couple of games. Got an arm injury. Still hadn't been able to come back in and pitch for the Bulldogs, but has definitely been valuable in the batter's box, coming in batting .348 on the year. Pitch is called strike for Stewart. So 0-2 count. Rushmeyer, a little hot ball right back to the first baseman. Stewart gets over to cover first, takes the toss, makes the out. So 1 up, 1 down for the Bulldogs here in the bottom part of the second inning. Up to bat, number 19, Maddox Reeves. Maddox playing left field tonight. Stewart's first pitch must have been a little bit high. High pitch again. So Reeves quickly gets ahead in the count. 0-2, so he can kind of be a little bit more selective here. And can be real selective now as that third pitch is into the dirt for a quick 3-0 count. Four pitches, 4 balls, and Reeves with 1 out makes his way down to first base. Up to bat next is going to be number 25. That is Connor Rife. Connor hit by the pitch. So all of a sudden, Stewart having some control problems. And the Bulldogs with 1 out now have men on first and second. And that's going to draw the coach out for the Indians to talk with Stewart. Connor Cantrell next up to bat for the Bulldogs. Connor having a solid season thus far. Coming in batting .281. Couple of RBIs. Got 1 double on the year. Umpire makes his way out to the pitching mound to kind of break up the powwow for the Indians. So let's see here if the Bulldogs can capitalize on a walk and then a hit by pitch with 1 out. Cantrell steps in, ready to take first pitch from Stewart. Stewart's pitch high. Fastball right down the middle that time for Stewart. So Stewart finally gets a strike back on the to get back on a little bit more of a stable call, and it's going to be a ground ball right up the middle, shortstop over to second base to first for the 6-4-3 double play, and that ends what looked like was going to try to be an inning where the Bulldogs were able to capitalize and maybe add to that 1-0 lead. No runs, no hits for the Bulldogs that inning. Two men left on base. After 2 innings of play, it's the Bulldogs 1 and the Indians nothing. Braves off to a nice start to the season. Off to a 3-1 start. They started the season away, 4 straight away games. A lot of baseball in a major league season, though. A lot of baseball. So you don't even start talking about games ahead or behind. You know, that's one thing I know. Even me as just a casual baseball fan. You know, as long as you're staying within 5-6 games, you really don't really start getting concerned about how far out you are if you're within sniffing distance till well after. As long as you're playing solid ball, you're getting good pitching, you're getting, got some good hitting. You're not really starting to get concerned about games back, in my opinion, until you get well past the All-Star break. First pitch. Ball called. Second pitch right back up the middle to the shortstop, Cantrell. Nice dig by the first baseman for the Bulldogs for the out. Rife over on first makes a great, nice stretch for the ball. Good job in the middle, though, by Cantrell. Up to bat for the Indians. Back to the top, or excuse me, not to the top. Number 1, Travis. Travis, a little grounder over to first base. St. Vincent over to first for the out. So 2 up, 2 down for the Indians. Martin about to be 3 innings into his start tonight and is looking real nice. Right back up the middle, Cantrell fires over to Rife, and that is an easy work. They're 3 up, 3 down for the Bulldogs. Through 2.5, it's still the Bulldogs 1 and the Indians nothing. Martin's got a good game going. Really has had very little control issues tonight. Got an aggressive Indian team that is jumping on pitches early, but just hitting it right back to our defenders in the field, and the Bulldog defense, real solid in the middle. of that middle of the there in the infield and helping Martin out big time, helping his calls out, trying to pick up a win tonight. Stewart for the Indians is giving up one hit, walked a couple, walked one or two batters, hit a pitcher, but really, I mean, only giving up one hit through 2 innings. So himself still having a nice outing. So let's see what the Bulldogs can produce here in their half of the third. We make our way back to the top of the order with Bryson Martin up to bat. Stewart, delivery on the way. That must have caught some part of the knee. It had to have been the bottom part of the knee because that was a low-looking pitch, but a called strike. Nonetheless, second pitch, Martin hits it down to third base, and a good job by the third baseman of backhanding that right on the line. Gets rid of the ball quick over to first base for the out. So 1 up, 1 down for the Bulldogs here in the bottom of the third. Next up to bat, Robbie Kopp. First pitch called strike. Robbie scored the 1 run for the Bulldogs back in the bottom of the first. 0-1 pitch in the dirt, back to the screen. Get a fresh ball in for Stewart. One count for Kopp. Kopp goes out toward left field, but right to the left fielder. Robbie hit it on the button, but just right to your left fielder for the easy out. Two outs for the Bulldogs, and that brings up the catcher, Javen Shoemate. Shoemate takes first pitch outside for ball 1. Fastball from Stewart. Looks like Javen looked back toward Coach Gillis and with his hands kind of motioned like, hey, that was a good foot and a half outside. Kind of catches Javen off guard. 1-1 count. Fastball high. Shoemate, good cut. Fouls it back to the fence. Two count here, 2 outs. Nobody on base here in the bottom of the third. Little changeup, got Shoemate looking, and Shoemate can't believe it. Low pitch, Coach Gillis giving his displeasure. Calls the umpire by his first name, so he must have called. Nope. A little bit of talking going on. No runs, no hits, no errors here in the bottom of the third. Still Bulldogs on top, 1-0. Quick moving ball game. We've been playing 45 minutes and already going into the fourth inning. Don't have to worry about a pitch count right now for either pitcher. For sure for Martin, I would say through 3 innings, if he's got 30 pitches right now, that's the most it would be. First inning he threw 4 pitches. Not sure about the last 2, but he's I would say well under 30 on the pitch count. So that should not be an issue tonight as long as he doesn't get himself in trouble from here on out. Indians here in the top of the fourth start off at the top of the lineup. It's the pitcher Stewart, number 6, leading off. First pitch, he was swinging first at bat. This bat, not going to be swinging. That one bounces barely into the dirt as it's getting close to home plate. Stewart turns on that, and if that's fair, that's problems. Woo, just foul. Woo. Home plate umpire watched that one for a long time. Stewart had plenty of stick on that, and it was just a few feet from being a trip around the bases for Stewart. Stewart turns on it again, drives it to the opposite field. 2 hard hit balls for Stewart. Stewart with the leadoff single. Looks over toward home plate, toward the visitor side dugout. Got a speed up runner on coming in for Stewart. Stewart trying to get his team fired up. That's the first hit of the night given up by Martin. Up next, number 3, Spivey. Martin over to first, just to keep that runner honest. Martin from the stretch, delivers high for ball 1 to Spivey. Swing and a miss. One the count. Martin looking in. Back over. Good job that time by the first baseman, Rife, digging that one out of the dirt. Martin delivers. Spivey fouls it back. 1-2 count coming up. Must have been just a little bit outside for a called ball. Maybe outside and just a tad low. Shoemate tried to framed that pitch just a little bit, but had to bring up that glove. Right back up the middle. Cantrell on a bad hop, but he makes the play over and gets the force out at second base. Good job by Cooper Cantrell backhanding that. It was a sharply hit ball, and off that first bounce off of the dirt, it's a little bit dusty out there, a little dry, fast infield. And Cantrell played that ball very nicely, makes the toss over to McDaniel on second to get the force. Number 5 up to bat, the lefty. That is Mullins, swinging on first pitch and fouls it back. 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Bulldogs on top, 1-0. Martin. Letting Mr. Spivey know that, hey, I know you're over there. Don't really know a lot about Spivey and any speed or lack thereof, but just in case, kind of trying to keep him honest. Works back on Mullins and comes with the heat. Fastball right down the middle, and Mullins fouls it off again. So quickly finds himself in an 0-2 hole. O2 pitch is a little off-speed pitch. Finds itself high. High fastball that time by Martin, and that evens the count up at 2-2 for Mullins. Indians started the inning with a single out to right field by Stewart. All of a sudden, Martin tonight finding himself. I believe this is the first time he's got a batter to 3 balls. It's a 3-2 count, but still 3 balls. A little bit closer that time back over to first base. Martin must be thinking that Spivey must be thinking maybe about stealing, because he is. That's 4 times he's worked his way back over to first base this at bat, keeping Spivey close to first. There goes Spivey. It's a hit and run. Cantrell gets under it on the foul line and makes the play. That ball held up in the air for a while. Cantrell comes all the way over from shortstop, and I guess St. Vincent must have lost it in the sky, because that would have been a ball you would have thought that St. Vincent could have picked up easily for the out. Two outs now for the Indians. Up to bat, number 32, Pointer. Spivey on the run again. Shoemate comes up, and just as he did during the warm-ups this inning, whenever he was actually getting ready to throw down to second base to end the warm-up, he's lost his grip on the ball, and as Spivey went to steal second, Shoemate loses the grip on the ball again, unable to even make an attempt at a throw down to second. A little off-speed pitch from Martin, and that's a strike. 2-1 the count. 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. Bulldogs on top, 1-0. Pointer trying to see if he can maybe move Spivey around and maybe tie this thing up with a base hit. You think if the ball gets out of the infield, Spivey, they're going to maybe give him a chance on trying to put a run on the board. Fastball right back up the middle, and it is to the second baseman, and a short throw, and that's into the dugout, so that's going to be a automatic over to second for Pointer. McDaniel kind of takes that bad hop just like Cantrell did a couple of batters ago, handled that, but just tried to rush the throw over to Rife on first and short arms it, throws it into the dirt, and it takes a bounce off of that hard infield dirt into the visiting dugout. So that advances Pointer over to second. So give McDaniel the error and an unearned run. Evens this ball game up at 1 apiece. Rodas up the bat, and apparently that ball was a little curved ball, and apparently it snipped Rodas somewhere because the umpire automatically just quickly calls for the dead ball where he was hit by a pitch. So all of a sudden, with 2 outs, the Indians have scored 1 this inning and got a hit, and now we got runners on first and second. For the 6th batter this inning, this is Hess. I don't like that, guys. I'm going back. I know I'm supposed to use this, but I think because of the sun, Tim adjusted. Ball's in the ground. Good job by Shoemate to block it. No, he likes to use this camera, but he's got that darkness adjusted because of the sunlight. But the sun is going down, so we're going to go back to the regular view here. One, or excuse me, 1-0 pitch to Hess, and that must have been maybe a little inside, and all of a sudden that umpire for his strike zone has tightened up, and as much as I think so, I can hear Coach Gillis, and I think he agrees with me that that strike zone has changed all of a sudden. 2-0 pitch, swing, Hess pops it up right to the center of the field. Cantrell takes it in for the 3rd out, but not before the Indians get on the board. They score 1 run off of 1 hit and 1 error, and after 3.5 of play, it's the Bulldogs 1 and the Indians 1. Coach. We're back. Bulldogs here. Bottom of the 4th, tied up at 1. St. Vincent leading it off for the Bulldogs. A little bit outside, I guess, on that pitch. Bulldogs will take it, though. Fastball down in the dirt. So St. Vincent jumps out on top to a quick 2-0 count. Another fastball in the dirt. Three and 0 count. You got to think St. Vincent taking all the way, and he does, and that's a ball as well. That strike zone has definitely changed, but you know, whenever you're up to bat, whenever our team's up to bat, you'll take it. That was 2 pitches that time that earlier in the game easily, I think, would have been called strikes, but the Blues kind of adjusted the strike zone. As long as he's doing it both ways, you don't want to see it change, but hey, as long as he's consistent with it, that's the main thing. Outside pitch from Stewart. Number 5, Aiden Justice up to bat. Stewart makes a little move back over toward first, and St. Vincent dives back in safely. Ball in the ground. St. Vincent is going to be able to advance over to second base. So the Bulldogs lead off walk and then a pass ball in the dirt. And the next thing you know, with no outs, the Bulldogs runner in scoring position over on second base. Throws back to second. St. Vincent back in. Justice coming in, batting .341, so a good bat. Takes the 3-0 pitch. He was taken all the way for called strike, now 3-1. High pitch. I think that is ball 4. Oh no, that was a quick change of the ball and strike to 3-1. The score guy, whoever the scorekeeper is tonight with the scoreboard, changed that to 3 balls before I even knew it. Hit back up the middle to the second baseman, over to first for the out on Justice, but that is a ball to the right side of the field that allows St. Vincent to move over to third. So give Justice a sacrifice as he moves the runner over to third base. So 90 feet away from putting 2 runs on the board, Braden Rushmeyer steps in. Chance to do some damage here. First pitch, a little off speeder. Rushmeyer takes the ball. High again. 2-0 count for Rushmeyer. You're kidding me. In the dirt, down and away, and we get a called strike on that, okay? 2-1. Basically same pitch, and it's called ball this time. Maybe it was down and maybe not away, but still down. So Rushmeyer, 3-1 count now. Rushmeyer, a little check swing. And it's going to be a little infield. Probably going to end up, I don't know if we're going to get yet. I don't know if we're going to get an error on that or if they're going to give Rushmeyer some home cooking and give him a hit. It was going to be a tough play for the pitcher. It was a little check swing that stayed fair. Check swing that stayed fair, and Stewart come up, tried to make a play on it with his glove and never able to get control of it. And they're going to call that a hit. So a little infield bunt, check swing hit for Rushmeyer. Give him an RBI. Brings up number 19. That is Reeves. Reeves takes 2 strikes back to back. Pitch on its way, swing. And a strikeout on 3 pitches for Reeves. Stewart come with the heat that time. It was a fastball high and away, and Reeves just could not put anything on it. Brings up Rife with 2 outs. Rife could not check his swing for a called strike. Rife goes opposite way to right field, and it's misplayed by the right fielder, so Braden Rushmeyer is going to come around to third. Rife advances over to second. Right fielder was having to come in for that, but I think you're going to have to give the right fielder an error there. Just in and out of his glove. He was running in hard on it. Waiting for the scorekeeper to see how we score that. Some discussion going on up in the press box. They're going to give him a hit. So give Rife a double. 2-out double, and that puts runners second and third with Cooper Cantrell coming up to bat. In the 9-hole, top of the order, on deck for the Bulldogs. First pitch high. It's called ball, but this strike zone is just moving around so much. If it's not dead down the middle, you just kind of wait. Cooper right back to Stewart, the pitcher, and Stewart tosses over to his first baseman for the easy out. So after 4 innings of play, the Bulldogs that inning get 1 run on 2 hits and jump back out in front and lead it 2-1 after 4 innings of play. for the Indians here in the top of the fifth. It will be Baver, Travis, and Metcalf here in the top half of the fifth inning. Martin still in on the mound for the Bulldogs. Pitching a good game so far tonight. Bauer steps in. Right side of the plate, waiting for the first pitch from Martin. Fastball in the dirt. Sun's officially, or has been down below the tree line out in right field now for about 20 minutes or so. Turned into a great evening for high school baseball. 2-0 count to Bauer. Fastball, little blooper out toward center field. Aiden Justice able to get under it, makes the put away out in center field for 1 out. That brings up number 1. Travis looking and hits it on the button out toward right center field, but a good job by the right fielder, makes a good jump on the ball, able to chase it down. That is Robbie Kopp, and Kopp able to get under it. So quickly 2 outs here in the Indian half of the fifth inning. Metcalf up to bat, takes first pitch strike from Martin. Martin again up the middle, and that is Cantrell over to first base, and that is once again a quick inning for the Bulldogs defensively. About a 5 or 6 pitch inning for Martin, and after 5.5 innings of play, Bulldogs hold on to a 2-1 lead. No runs, no hits, no errors in the top half of the fifth. Stewart making his way back out, so he's going to stay on the mound for the Indians. We do have some activity going on heading down to the bullpen for the Indians. Or maybe, no, I don't think that is bullpen activity. That's just some guys just going to, some of the reserves just going to do a little running just to kind of keep loose just in case. Thought we might be seeing a little activity in the visitors' bullpen. With Martin in the control that he's having tonight, no activity going on down in the bullpen for the Bulldogs. Leading it off, top of the order, your pitcher, Bryson Martin, leading off the bottom half of the fifth for the Bulldogs. Stewart's first pitch from the windup, low and in the dirt for ball 1. Swinging, that ball goes the opposite way out to right field, but right to the right fielder. For the out. So 1 batter up, 1 batter down for the Bulldogs here in the bottom of the fifth. Brings up number 11, Robbie Kopp, for the Dogs. Little off-speed pitch. First pitch called strike. Stewart comes back with another off-speeder, this time short and in the dirt. Evens the count up at 1-1. Fastball high. 2-1 count now for Kopp. 1 out. Bulldogs on top 2-1. Kopp. Good cut, but fouls it back. Evens it up at 2-2. Stewart off speed. Kopp over to gets it out to shortstop, and it's going to be a little short arm throw from the shortstop of the Indians. And I'm telling you, that infield is firm tonight. And the scorekeeper for the Bulldogs, maybe a little home cooking right there, gives Kopp an infield hit. As that throw from the shortstop over to the first baseman takes a bad hop in front, and the first baseman not able to handle it. Ruled a hit. So Kopp's aboard over on first with 1 out. Now Javen Shoemate up to bat for the Bulldogs, and he takes first pitch for a ball. Stewart back over to first base. And Kopp back in safely. Stewart delivers, fouled off and out of play, off the hands. So Shoemate now at a 1-1 count. Shoemate, little bouncer up to the second baseman. And that is a 4-6-3 double play for the Indians. That's 2 double plays tonight for the Indians that have sniffed out some what could be maybe some situations where the Bulldogs were able to put some more runs on the board, but defensively doing a good job, taking advantage whenever they get that opportunity to turn it in the middle, and they did there for the double play. So the Bulldogs add a hit, but no runs, no errors. And after 5 innings of play, it's the Bulldogs 2 and the Indians 1. For the Indians, this inning, I think they're going to be back to the top of the lineup. Yep, there comes Stewart. It's going to be Stewart, Spivey, and Mullins leading off the top of the 6th inning. Now the Indians do have activity down in the bullpen. Got a lefty warming up down in the bullpen for the Indians. Don't see any activity down in the Bulldogs side. Bryson Martin, through 5 innings, only give up 1 run on 1 hit, and has had very nice control of his pitches tonight. I think only one batter that I can recall where he really got in trouble, and as far as the count. That 1 run that the Indians have is an unearned run off of a throw-in error back in the 4th inning. So good outing thus far for Bryson Martin. Bryson's a senior this year. Top of the order, like I said, on its way up and leading off for the Indians, number 6, Stewart. Stewart with the only hit tonight, his last at bat. Hit a shot out to left field. First pitch on its way. Low for ball 1. Going to be a hit down the third base line for Stewart, and Stewart going to try for 2. Dives in, and he's got a leadoff double here in the top of the 6th inning. Just a bouncer right down the third base line. Had just enough juice on it that St. Vincent could not make a play on it. Just inside the foul line. Stewart uses his speed and goes into second. So a leadoff double. That brings up Spivey. First pitch to Spivey. Fastball high and away. Martin goes back to second base. Got a hurry-up runner in for Stewart, and they make him work and get back to second, trying to keep him honest. Martin back to work on the batter. Got to play down at third base and give the speed-up runner a steal. Good jump by the Indian runner. So now all of a sudden with no outs, you got a runner on third for the Indians. 1 ball, 1 strike to Spivey. Low and away. Good job by Shoemate getting in front of that pitch, keeping it from going to the wall. That easily could have turned into a tie ball game. 2-1 count. Martin with just a little bit of off speed there, and that finds the strike zone for a strike. 2-2 the count now for Spivey. Spivey gets in a little bit closer to the plate. Delivery. Another off-speed pitch from Martin, maybe trying to get Spivey out in front of something. 3-2 count. Fastball just outside. So Spivey makes his way down to third base. So for the first time tonight, Martin finding himself in a little bit of a pickle here in the top of the sixth. Runners on first and third. No outs. Up to bat, Mullins. Just a little bit high. Now all of a sudden, Martin having some issues finding the strike zone this inning. Stewart had some early on. Martin is. Mullins gets a little blooper. Out into right field, and that is going to score a run. So that ties us back up, a RBI single for Mullins. Did not get a lot of bat on the ball, but just enough to put it over the second baseman's head and fall out there in no man's land out in right field. That scores the runner from third. Moves your runner from first over to second, and Mullins on first now. So runners on first and second. Still no outs. Throw back to second base. On Spivey able to dive back in. Up to bat now for the Indians, number 32, Pointer. A little bit more chatter, a little bit of excitement brewing over in that Indian dugout. Martin goes back to second base again, trying to keep Spivey honest over there on second base, trying to keep that lead as his lead off of second as small as possible. Yet to throw a pitch to Pointer this at bat. Pitch on its way, and Pointer fouls it off down the third base line side. Rodas on deck and Hess in the hole for the Indians. Fastball just a little bit low. Evens the count up at 1-1. Still don't think there's any activity. It's kind of hard to get around this corner. Still don't think we've got any activity down in the Bulldog pen right now. One pitch on its way, and Rodas fouls it back out of play. Bulldogs need an out right here. Strikeout would be nice. Or a little can of corn over to third base for maybe a little quick double play would be even better. Pitch, and Pointer fouls it off again over the visiting dugout. Keeps the count at 1-2. Pitch on his way to Pointer. Pointer right back, hits the ball right back up the middle. Cantrell takes it to second, gets the force at second to get the first out of the inning. So fielder's choice. Advances a runner over to third. Pointer over on first. So 1 out now in the top of the 6th. We're tied up at 2 apiece. That brings up number 22, Rodas, for the Indians. Rodas swinging on the first pitch, and it's going to be out of play. Nice. Oh, good effort that time by the right fielder for the Bulldogs in foul territory. Makes the diving attempt for the foul ball just out of his reach. Oh, 1 pitch on its way. Martin backs off the mound, off the rubber. Gets time. Steps back in. Throws away. Cantrell. Bad hop for Cantrell. Cantrell can't make a throw anywhere. So a hard hit ball right at Cantrell. And that's going to score your runner, Spivey, from third. Give Cantrell an error. And that puts, for the first time tonight, that puts the Indians on top 3-2. Still 1 out. Runners on first and second with Hess up to bat, number 25. Fouled away. Martin from the stretch delivers right at the first baseman. Line drive, and we're able to turn. That just froze the runner for the Indians that time. That was Rodas on. He had his lead, and it was a shot right back to the first baseman, and he's able to make the line drive out and then just step on first base for an easy double play. So the Bulldogs limit the damage here in the top of the 6th. But the Indians score 2 runs on 2 hits and 1 error. And through 5.5 innings of play, it is the Indians 3 and the Bulldogs 2 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Stewart staying in now as the Indians take the lead. I think that might have been some consideration on Stewart staying in or not, to be honest with you. Leading off the inning for the Bulldogs here in the bottom of the 6th, going to be number 24, Anthony St. Vincent.
All right. How do they do it you remember back in the olden days when the TV crew for TBS or whatever would change, remember halfway through.
They would change it up.
Yep. Don and them would go to TV, and whoever's on TV
would go to radio.
I just got back from, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm coaching Little League again, and we had practice. Tell me, is it better here? So give me a wrap on wrap.
So
how do we get to 3-2?
So up until last inning, Bryson Martin has thrown a great game. Gave up 1 hit, 1 earned run. Up until last inning, through 5 innings, probably thrown 35, 40 pitches.
Wow.
Has had real good control of his pitches. Great job defensively. Leaked a little oil there in the top of the 6th. And Indians got 2 on the board that inning there, and they're
Okay.
half of the inning.
How do we score our runs? We got 1 in the first and 1 in the fourth? Just batting them around a little bit, but nothing major.
Nothing major.
No home runs.
No, no.
Okay. Did it? No. Well, he called it stepped out. So let's see. We've got 4 hits for the Dogs, 3 hits for the Indians, 2 errors. And there's a hit
off the helmet.
Off the helmet. My goodness. Looks like my camera moved a little bit. I'm going to go fix that real quick. See how it's sort of cockeyed?
Mm-hmm.
That one, I don't know if you've been using that angle much.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think they got 1 left-handed batter, so not very often. Number 5 up to bat, that is Justice. Justice squaring around to bunt. Takes ball 1. Bulldogs may be looking to play a little small ball here and just trying to get that batter or get the runner advanced over to second. Justice squares around again. Pulls back, low and away for ball 2. Two-0 pitch on the way. Justice squares but pulls back again. So brings up a 3-0 count. So batter's count here, and he's going to square and look for him to, unless it's just a called play. He pulls back and takes the strike. So we're ready now. Coach Gillis gives them the signals. 4 pitches and 4 looks at what would appear to be a bunt. Now Justice stays in, doesn't square up, and takes the 4th pitch, or excuse me, takes ball 4 for the walk. So runners on first and second. Catcher goes to try to make his way out to talk to Stewart, and Stewart doesn't want none of it. Tells him, hey, I got it. Sends him back to home plate. Now the first baseman comes out and says, hey, let's chat just a second here. That's going to bring up Braden Rushmeyer now. No outs, runners on first and second. Right now, you need a big stick up to the plate, and that's what the Bulldogs have got with Rushmeyer. Rushmeyer coming in, batting over 340. And that looks like that's going to do it for Stewart. So Stewart comes out of the ball game with a 3-2 lead. Runners on first and second, no out. So going to give the relief pitcher a little bit of time to take some warm up. We're going to stay with the right-hander. So Stewart done for the night. Gives up 2 runs on 4 hits. He can still get the win, but he's still responsible for the 2 runners, so he can take the loss still. So Stewart done for the night. Good job of pitching by Stewart. So let's see what we bring in here for the Indians. Looks like number 7.
Who is it? Yeah, how about that lineup? I took a picture of it, and they got everybody in a little tiny paragraph down at the bottom. He didn't fill in.
There they are. There's your.
Yeah.
Sam Coleman, number 7.
Coleman, for everybody watching
up in
Kentucky, which don't look like a lot.
No.
I got my little sign over there, but what is it? Is it Tuesday? No, we don't have a lot of Tuesday. Is it Tuesday?
Tuesday night.
It is Tuesday. Mm-hmm. We don't have a lot of Tuesday night games. And, hey. So.
I tell you one thing I did find out.
What did you find out?
There's not a lot to talk about if you're a one-man band.
I don't want to be a one-man band. That's old to me. I think that's what they call it. So what do you got, Rush coming up?
Yeah.
How's Rush been doing? He got out of slump. So I call these games when we get our eyeballs beat out, and nobody does. Last night I didn't call the game, and we won 10-3, and he went 2 for 2 last night.
He is 1 for 2 tonight. He actually
nice.
got a little check swing bunt single right down the first base line that the pitcher couldn't handle his last at bat.
Nice.
Squares around to bunt.
Steve missed it. He pulled his bat back, and coach is giving it to him, son. Steve is 70 years old, poor guy. Nobody, listen.
You can't get him out there.
He told me, he says, you can't find nobody. All the guys that are qualified to do playoff games are 62 plus.
You're kidding. Wow.
So they're trying to train some people, but Steve missed that one. He pulled his bat back. He probably was worried about getting hit or something. Parks, did I tell you Parks almost got hit where it don't count?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Ooh.
So that advanced the runners on a pass ball. And he squared the bunt, brought his bat back, but it bounced in front of the catcher, and the runners advanced. So now you have, Dusty, second and third with no outs.
Yep.
Have a chance here to tie the game and maybe even go up.
This might even change the strategy and allow Braden to swing away. Yep.
Oh, yeah. I think you're exactly right.
Low and away.
You got your recorder ready for Thursday or Wednesday? There's a pop-up that may or may not score him. Oh, it's a trouble.
Misplay. Oh,
they're going to send him. It's going to be a close play.
Safe.
Oh, he is safe. The throw was up the line a little bit. And now we got a man on third as the catcher was not watching. The catcher fell asleep, sort of, was worried. I don't know if he thought he had.
Wait a second. They're saying he called time whenever the runner scored at home.
Steven, coach is going at it toe-to-toe. Now, look, Steve, you missed that first strike. And now you're calling timeout while there's a runner on second.
Ball still in play.
Ball is rolling around. You cannot call timeout, Steve. I play for the Braves. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth right now? Steve. So Steve said he called a timeout, the umpire behind the plate. And Gillis is wanting to know, why did you call a timeout? Because the ball was loose.
Right.
You can't call a timeout when the ball's rolling around. I'm pretty sure that's the situation. But now maybe he called the timeout when the catcher had the ball in his glove. I'm not sure. I think he was going to wipe the plate off. And it was still haberdashery going on. And Steve.
Yeah, I mean, you still got a guy out on second bases trying to figure out, are we going to try to advance or not? And
yep. Right down the pipe. Went out, ball game's tied, man on second base. Number 19, I don't want number 19. We got to speed up, remember,
yep.
Appleby. And I wonder that you can do this one time.
Well, that's your
if
catcher
it's not
too. That's Shoemate, your catcher.
Oh, is it Shoemake
yeah.
out there?
Yeah.
No, that ain't Shoemake.
No, that ain't Shoemate. No.
I was gonna say that don't look like Shoemake.
No, there's Shoemate. Yeah.
So you can do it one time. You can also do it for the pitcher and catcher, but you can do it one time for just anybody. Here's the pitch. And that's what it is. Is this big old, what's his face? What is that guy's name?
Yeah, this is Reeves.
Reeves. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Fouled that way.
So, getting back to what my question, do you have your recorder set?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Now, how do you watch it? Do you use direct or what?
Yeah, I use direct.
So
tomorrow at the office, I'll have a tablet off to the side. So if I do catch a minute, which is very few and far between, up low.
That moves the man over.
If I catch a minute, I'll catch some of, they'll have, before live, they'll have the A-Man Corner on Masters.com.
Not tomorrow, but
or on Thursday.
But we got the three.
You got the par 3 tomorrow afternoon.
They said they've redone some of those.
They've redone the whole 9. I mean, it's still the same. They just gone in and redid all the greens and everything.
Did they change the undulations, or did they just returfed them?
I think just resodded them.
Resodded them.
Yeah.
So, of course, people that are watching baseball surely knows what we're talking about. This weekend is the biggest tournament every year. Oh, that was pretty. Nice curveball there.
Even though they've been playing golf since January, this is the official start to the golf season now with the Masters this week.
Is this the first major?
Mm-hmm.
And they've done the majors in the next 4 months, one a month, right?
Right. They moved the PGA from July and August time frame up to May. Yeah. So you got
next is
PGA.
All right.
And then U.S. Open and British Open.
And then the Players.
No, Players is in March.
Oh, that's right. Players is
so
March.
you've got 5 big
tournaments.
Big tournament every month for 5 months.
Did any of them LIV guys play this weekend? Oh, there's a shot to third baseman. It's going to be trouble. That's going to out 3.
Yeah, there's actually 18 playing in the Masters from the LIV.
18 from the LIV?
Yeah. But
what about previous? Is it previous winners like Mick and them guys? Or
Mickelson, Dustin Johnson is there. Patrick Reed is a former champion.
All of the guys that are LIV that won, they're going to play.
Right, and then
now, can they ever get knocked off since this is a private tournament?
Oh yeah, I mean, the way that they currently
the Masters do
the way that the Master to be eligible for the Masters is you've got to have a win on tour,
or
a past champion, or winning a major within so many years, or a Players Championship within so many years, or be inside the top 50 in the world ranking. So the rest of the LIV players are all qualifying underneath that top 50 in world ranking, but
I thought they're not.
But see what's happening. This would be the only year probably because every week their rankings dropping because they're not qualifying for world ranking points right now.
And if they're on the LIV, PGA's not letting them play a tournament just to play.
No, and then it come out last week that supposedly if a player decided that they wanted to leave the LIV Tour, they would have to pay, and I mean this is just in the article, 3 to 4 times what they got paid to go to LIV in order to get out of the LIV contract. So basically it's kind of like Hotel California. When you check in, you don't check in. But I think what's going to happen, in my opinion,
they're going to have to
what's going to happen, the LIV, I don't see the LIV Tour making it.
Really?
No.
With all those
players? I think this week's going to be a big determining factor. You got guys that are playing 54-hole events with no cut, with shotgun starts, exhibition. They played at Orange County National down in Orlando, and they showed pictures of it.
There's a shot to the shortstop. Cantrell scoops it up and doesn't get it to first base, and the first baseman cannot handle it. That'll get the runner over to second. And so you've got a E6 on that play. Who's over at first, Rush or somebody else?
No, that is Rife over on first.
Rife.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
But yeah, they played Orange County National, which is a public course, and they showed pictures of it online. What they played on, crabgrass all in the fairways. So
Can they not get better
nobody's
courses?
I mean,
play?
anything you hear, any comments you read of people going out there, it's one row deep, watching anybody, watching Bryson, watching Brooks, watching
like
DJ.
The senior tour.
Yeah, and this is going to be they're playing limited schedule. So the main thing a lot of these guys went over for was to play a more limited schedule.
Right.
So if you're not playing and you're wanting more time away from the game, are you practicing as hard? Are you grinding as hard because you've got this guaranteed money?
Guaranteed money, and you made the cut.
So I think this week's going to be a big factor in how Liv goes.
In the dirt. Bryson's arm's a little tired now. You can tell.
If you can get out of those 18 players, if you can have some of them in contention come the weekend, it will maybe still show, hey, there is some credence to this tour. But if you have a week where majority of them miss the cut and the ones that do make the cut are kind of non-factors, it's going to throw a lot more doubt into the legitimacy of that tour. Yeah,
that's a good point. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, they've got their money. Or do they?
Yeah.
Do they get big signing bonuses up front, or was
I
that
think so.
for every year they get a percentage of that money?
I think they get a majority of it up front, then it's paid out over.
Guess what? If it goes belly up, they got some money.
Yeah.
Out of it. And they may not get to play on PGA anymore. But 2-0, and there's a pop-up to center field. Should be caught, but it should be right field. Excuse me, in the foul territory. And should you have let that go foul and not catch it?
I think so.
Especially a tying run.
That's a go-ahead run.
Excuse me, go-ahead run. When it's tied, a long foul ball been on third. That is just a very questionable, and I don't know how Coach Gillis coaches that, but do you let that fall, get 2-1, and see if Bryson can get you out of it or get a ground ball, or do you go ahead and just make the catch and get one out? Tough. And there is pop up to right field. Center fielder come over and catch that ball. So out. Number 2.
But if the tour did fold, if Liv did fold, the PGA Tour is taking a pretty hard stance on it right now because they haven't folded and they are a competitor.
But are they really a competitor? If
in their eyes, they are, because it's.
If you're saying that it's almost like Desi's versus Shoney's or something,
right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, or whatever, because you said nobody goes to them, nobody really watches it.
Right.
They're not on major networks.
No.
What are they on, YouTube?
CW.
What's that?
The CW network.
Chicago. No,
or that's Channel 44.
I don't know what it is.
But I think if the because the only thing that's keeping the tour going is whenever the Saudis decide, hey, we don't want to put no more money into it, and they call it quits with it. Hey, we gave it a shot. We're done with it. I think my opinion on it is, if you've got all these golfers, especially the Dustin Johnsons, the Cam Smiths, the Brooks Koepkas,
those guys
draw
big tournaments,
and they draw money. I mean, you put them back on tour, they're going to help draw players or draw fans. So, it's going to be interesting to watch over the next couple of years. Stewart up to bat and's got a 3-1 count for the Indians. Stewart, 2 hits of the 3 for the Indians. Nobody on. Indians on top 4-3. Nice pitch by Martin, catches the outside corner, so takes it to a full count at 3-2 with 2 outs. Payoff pitch on its way. Fastball right at St. Vincent, and St. Vincent makes the grab at third base. But not until the Indians here and there, the top of the 7th inning, puts 1 run on the board Bulldogs add another error. And after 6.5 of play, it's the Indians 4 and the Bulldogs 3. Bulldogs one more chance here in the bottom of the 7th to try to tie it up, or better yet, take home the win. Bulldogs last chance here in the bottom of the 7th. They've led most of the way through the game, gave up the lead in the 6th inning only to take it back or to tie it up, and then gave it away last inning to a 4-3 lead for the Indians. Cooper Cantrell leading it off, takes first pitch, strike. Little off-speed pitch, down and away, evens it up at 1-1.
Speaking of golf, I need to check with Brandon to see what the special is this month. Let me check with that.
Swing and a miss for Cantrell. Jumped out in front of that pitch. 1-2 count. We'll go to the top of the order with Martin and Kopp. Cantrell takes ball 2 to even it up at 2-2. Swing and a miss, and goes down swinging. One away for the Dogs here in the bottom of the 7th. And that brings up Bryson Martin with one out.
That's going to come back to haunt catching that foul ball if we don't score no runs here. That's going to be tough. It's almost like catching on a 4th down in football, catching a long interception.
Yep.
Instead of dropping it and taking the ball right there. You know, that's a tough one.
It's instincts, but sometimes you got to just swing and a miss. Martin finds himself in a quick 0-2 count, 0-2 hole. Little off-speed junker.
So our next game this week is Thursday at Pace. We won't be able to cover any of the games this week. The rest of the week, Pace is away. Friday night, we're back at home against Walton. And then pitches in the dirt. The next week following is both away games, Thursday and Friday at West Florida Tech and Choctaw. So our next home game, and we might I don't know if I can cover any of those games or not. I might can cover the Friday game against Choctaw. That'd be a good game to cut and fouled off. Pricey. So Brandon said 10% off for military and first responders from here on out. Let's see. That's good. That's nice. Let's see what else he said.
2-2 pitch for Martin on its way. Fastball swing and a miss. 2 up, 2 down via the strikeout here in the bottom of the 7th. So the last chance for the Bulldogs to keep some life going is number 11, and that is Robbie Kopp.
So he said 10% off for military first responders anytime you want to come. Ball one. And then for the month of June and July, 50% off for teachers.
Wow.
So your wife would qualify for
Yep.
that. And let me ask if this is for spouses. See what he says about that. That's right. 1-1. Robbie is the last hope here, down to 1 out. If he can get on base, who does that bring up?
Be Shoemake.
Oh, we're right in the meat. Wait a minute. Is that Kopp or is that Appleby? Is that Kopp 11?
Yeah, Kopp.
Okay. That camouflage, I can't hardly read the numbers on those.
Yeah, Appleby hadn't. He's
He just pitch runner. That's right.
Yeah.
Here's the pitch. High.
It's a close one to be
know.
taken on a 2
Chip
strike.
Buttocks was tight on that
Yeah.
one. 2-2, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Can Robbie keep it alive? He's got a good bat. And you've got the 3, 4, and 5 here coming up. Here it is. Curveball.
Got him.
Ball game. Throws him on the curveball. So, man, that's a tough one. Final score here was 4-3. That was a tough ball game there after you. And Bryson pitched a great game. You had a couple, I don't know how many errors. I didn't get to see that, how many errors it was. Hey, look at there. So as long as you play with them, you're good to go. So 50% off for teachers in June and July. And if you bring your spouse, they can play also. So that's pretty awesome. And also for the 10%, the military, if your spouse wants to play, they also, but you got to be there with them. All right, so real quick, like once again, on the schedule, we won't cover any more games this week. Next week, as I was looking at the schedule, it looks like we can cover the Choctaw game next Friday night, but you've got Pace Thursday night away, home Friday night against Walton. And then next Thursday and Friday, you have West Florida Tech away and Choctaw away. We will probably be able to call the Choctaw game Friday night. Appreciate you guys. Y'all have a good weekend. Have a great Easter. And who are you predicting for the Masters?
Wow.
Don't give me a TW.
No.
Is he even playing?
Yeah, he's playing. Would not be surprised if Scotty was in the mix trying to defend.
Okay.
But somebody that's been playing that has had good success, that has been close at the Masters, that was the number 1 player in the world for a while, fell off the face of the map and has worked his way back to, I think he's inside the top 30 right now from like 200 and something. Watch out for Jason Day. Jason has played extremely solid, has been very close to some wins this year. Would not be surprised to see Jason pick up major number 2 this week.
Sounds good. All right, y'all have a good weekend. Have a good Easter. We'll see you guys next Friday night at Choctaw. Good night, everybody.